And instead of the mic running around, how about if you people that have any questions, how about just come over here to the side, and we'll have Bruce here with a microphone, and you can fire away with your questions of asking things they didn't tell you yet. Do we have any? No questions for the commissioners. You're going to hold me to my schedule anyway.
Yellow out.
Bruce, you're using up my 5 minutes.
I have a question for any one of the commissioners. My name is Bruce Rader. Will the budget for the county be balanced in 2015, 2016?
It has to be. You mean balance without a tax increase? That is correct. We don't project a tax increase for the next few years. With our budget director, Bob Treasy, and his staff and the commissioners, we have a 5-year budget forecast. So barring any catastrophic issue with the economy, we should be in good shape for at least the next 2 years.
If I can answer that a little bit differently, and Commissioner Barnhart will understand, a balanced budget in accounting terms means that your revenue matches your expenses. We often do not have a balanced budget, but you have to ask, what is the difference? What's the difference driving the expense? And when it's capital, one-time expenditures, that's not a problem. And so we take that capital often out of the budget surplus. So to be technical, if you look at our budgets the last several years, they show a deficit. The deficits that matter, however, is when there's an operational deficit. In other words, that's going to be there year after year, and it normally grows. There is no operational deficit in the budget now, and there is none projected.
A budget is a projection and is based upon the best available information we have based on historical performance. But almost no budget is accurate to the exact penny. We have substantial reserves in the county that are available to plug any unforeseen circumstance or any minor shortfall that may accrue in the course of the year. So it's possible that we end the year as we have in the past with a small surplus or a small deficit, but generally within 1% or less, the budget is always balanced.
And the only thing I can add to that is, yes, when you put together a budget and you put together your expenses on a fiscal year, you should be balanced. If you have capital projects, you should be able to see where those resources are coming from in the future, and that should be budgeted also.
You have a question over there?
Yes, Sam Bragador.
Gentleman there at the door, do you have a question?
Sorry.
Okay.
Sam Bragador. Just give me a little bit of an explanation of your thoughts on the county alertas.
Alerted is a local economic revitalization tax abatement program. Very simply, here's what it is. A business owns a building, they pay taxes, property taxes on that building. If they're in an alerted district and they do an expansion, when they get their first tax bill, they would pay 0% of the new assessed value. The second year they would pay 10%, the third year 20%. So the year 11 they're paying 100% of the assessed value. This is unique in that, unlike many of the other programs that are out there, TIF, KOZs, those take money from one group of taxpayers and give it to another, a form of corporate welfare. This is entirely based on what the business invests, and it encourages businesses to invest major dollars. Topahakan School District has seen the benefit of this with PetSmart and with Dollar General. I believe PetSmart is now in their second year, and they are seeing brand new revenue as a result of that, and by year 11, they will be paying full boat. It is a good concept. It's difficult to explain all the details with a simple answer.
One other example of an effective alert is EnerSys out in Bern Township. They are a worldwide organization. They were looking to expand the office and technical aspect of their operation. They came to the county, they came to Bern Township to see Barry Joswiak back there. And they were successful in negotiating an alert to keep that facility here. They have facilities across the country. They could have gone anywhere else. They could have actually closed down EnerSys in Bern Township and went elsewhere. So between the county and the school district and Bern Township, we were successful in keeping them here in Berks County.
Thank you. I want to make sure we get a chance at some questions here, so let's try to be a 30-second to a minute answer. We got another question over there?
Yeah, question. You stated that prison's one of the county's biggest money takers, we'll say. And you stated about not having nonviolent criminals in the county prison systems versus using different methods. Where'd you draw the line on nonviolent criminals?
Right now, I draw the line that last year, every single individual incarcerated for truancy was a single mother. I support legislation that's currently in the Pennsylvania Senate that would take jail off the table as an option for truancy. Who do you think's taking care of the children when the single mother goes to jail? Children and youth. Often they end up in children and youth services. I'm not talking about people that are difficult to determine whether or not they're nonviolent. I'm talking about specific. Parking tickets would be another one. We have, from time to time, people in jail for parking tickets. That's not where people belong, and jail was made for people that need to be separated from society, not for truant parents and not for people in parking tickets.
Thank you. Another question.
I'd like to ask you, are you considering a reassessment in the county?
The only answer is no.
We've been approached over the years, especially prior to my colleagues coming on board, by people who bought homes in Amity Township only to find they couldn't afford them. I don't think they had anything but beer boxes for furniture. But their house looked nice outside. They were up to debt in their eyeballs, and they found that they couldn't pay their school taxes. Well, we noted at that time that there was a real estate bubble, and if had we honored their request and reassessed the county, that reassessment would have been inaccurate in 2006-07 by the time the ink dried. Now, since that time, the coefficient of dispersion, which shows the inequities in assessments, has been narrowing. It's actually been getting better as the lofty prices and speculation have dissipated. So am I interested in a countywide reassessment? Absolutely not. I can't speak for my colleagues, but I do not personally foresee a reassessment in any time in the near future.
Yeah, I was on the school board for a number of years, and I think a reassessment is probably necessary, or over maybe a 10-year period, every 10 years or maybe every 15 years, but we should be doing a reassessment because it does get out of kilter every once in a while. I know that you can appeal it, but the process should be countywide.
Okay, question.
Oh, my name is John I. I'm from Perry Township. Over the past several weeks, there's been articles and pictures in the newspaper about the district attorney's office confiscating lots of weapons and tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of drug dealings and stuff. What happens to those weapons and the money that they confiscated if it's not returned to the people if they're not convicted?
I would ask John Curlin to answer this, but I think it's held until the disposition of the court case, and then the money is drug forfeiture money, and the weapons are ultimately destroyed once the case is going through the court system. Am I correct, John Curlin?
Typically, although there's an option to pursue forfeiture earlier, but we never do so until the conviction.
What happens to the money if it's not returned to the people if they're not convicted? Who gets it? Who gets that money? Does it go into the general county budget, or where does it go?
I can talk to you after.
Tell you what, we're past our time.
Rod, would you explain, that's it? The reason we can't answer that, sir?
Yes.
The reason we can't answer that, we are not the elected district attorney. We have no authority over him. That is separately handled within the district attorney. And Jonathan Curlin works in the district attorney's office and can answer that factually. And we want you to get the facts.
Okay.
That's the reason.
Yeah, because there would be a lot of money that could go into the general county fund if that's what happens. So I just want
Okay, John, I'm going to have to call time, or we're going to be running behind. We've gone past by a couple of minutes already. I want to thank our 4 candidates tonight for the successful discussion, and wish you all well.